Okay, now I'd like to talk with you about some of the pros and cons in choosing your granite countertop. Before picking a surface to go into your kitchen, you really want to be educated about what granite can and can't do for you in your home. Some of the cons we talk about, first of all, are if granite stains. The porosity of granite is really dependent upon the color that you pick. Granite is basically just a polished rock for all intents and purposes. So its porosity is going to depend on where the stone came from, what type of stone that it actually is, and to how much that it will absorb. This stone that I have in front of me is a Santa Cecilia granite, and it is a fairly porous product. And as we shine water down on it, or put water down on it, we'll see how porous that it is. The seams in granite are visible as opposed to solid surface, which the seams, they say, are invisible, but they're inconspicuous. The seams in granite are very dependent on the length and the size of the slabs. If the slabs are 119 inches long and one of your countertops is 145 inches long, just by its very nature it has to have a seam in it. And the seams are just basically two pieces of rock butt together, and get it as tight and as level as possible and fill it with an epoxy filler and then clean off the top of it. It doesn't make that seam any more or less porous, but the seams will be visible, and against a polished surface it does make it very visible. And so I'll jump over to one of the pros of granite is that it's very easy to clean. As we wipe down the countertops that I have at my home, we have to wipe them down every day, but it's very, very easy. I can use the back side of a Scotch-Brite pad, a sponge, typical sponge with a Scotch-Brite pad. I can use the back side on it in any manner that I want to. I can be as rough or as easy as I want to, and it's not going to really damage the surface unless I just bear down with all my might, day in, day out. And so that natural beauty that you get in granite is one of the unique qualities to it, and I would put that really at the top of the list of the pros. Along with that, the uniqueness of stone is that you go to pick out a slab in the warehouse somewhere through a distributor, and you're going to pick out the stone that's going to be in your home, and it's a very unique process, and it makes a kitchen very uniquely yours. In solid surface, they run batch numbers and lot numbers of these products in these different colors, but it's more of a manufactured product. The natural quality of granite makes it really uniquely your kitchen. And with that, some of the cons against that is, in that uniqueness, there's going to be some imperfections in the stone. There's going to be a few things that maybe stand out, black spots, veining in there that may not be as appealing as you would like it to be. But again, that's your piece of granite, and it's something really to be proud of in the end and in the final product. Granite has been shown in some measure to increase the resale value of your home, and by that I've been very careful in the past several months to say it would increase the resellability of your home or increase the value of your home. But what it has done is, in the kitchen, especially being one of the focal areas of the home and where people like to gather, a nice set of granite countertops is going to draw people to that kitchen. It's going to give it a very elegant look and maybe stick in someone's mind as they walk through the house. They're going to remember that kitchen. If it's very well done, they'll remember that kitchen over someone else's, and in that way it does increase your the resale value. The pros of granite now, and especially in the last couple of years, is we have a couple of manufacturers of granite that are putting very good sealers on the stone so that we don't have the problem. One of the cons of granite is that it has to be sealed, but one of the pros now is that it's being sealed by a couple of companies for sure. Cosentino has put out a product that they have labeled Sensa granite, and when you see the Sensa label, you will know that you have a sealed product that's guaranteed for 15 years. Granite is certified also by DuPont, and you can find it at your local Zodiac dealer, or at it's carried by some wholesale warehouses as well. But that's something to set your mind at ease about the porosity of it, and having a larger company guarantee something and warranty something really does set your mind at ease about a lot of those things. Some people have said that granite is just a place for germs to habitate and to gather underneath your dishwasher and things like that. When the steam comes up, it's just going to create mold. That's not been my personal understanding of this, but I can certainly see that where steam goes and water's going to go, mold's going to go as well. So this certified granite and Senza Granite by Cosentino should help ease your mind in some of those worries. One of the unique products of granite as well is its hardness. It's one of the hardest products that there is out there. Again, it's a rock. It's very solid. It's very resistant to cuts. And I can show where running a knife along this and to cut vegetables or things like that. I've always cut on the granite I have in my home. I've always cut on it since the day I've had it, and I've not marred it in any place that I can think of it. I've not marred the finish. And I have black granite, which will show everything more than anything else, more than any other color. And I haven't marred it yet at all. I don't go down to the countertop and just keep on cutting, trying to make the point that it won't cut. But I always cut vegetables directly on my countertop. I never cut meat on the countertop because, again, it is a porous product, so I don't want the blood and the juice from fresh meat going down into the countertop and creating bacteria that way. But I've never had any qualms about cutting on this because it is such a hard, durable product. One of the cons to granite that you don't have in any other product, be it solid surface or the quartz products, is staining and water spots. In granite, as you clean some granites, especially the ones that are more porous than others, as you spray water on the countertops, you will see the place where you've actually sprayed it. It will create a dark spot around there. That's the rock getting wet, and it quickly, in a lot of stones, like this stone is one of the more porous ones, and it quickly becomes darkened, but it hydrates out very quickly as well. It's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing, no sealer in the world can really prevent the stone itself, the rock, from actually getting wet. But it's really nothing most of the time to worry about. What there is to worry about is if you replace water with something like an oil or a red wine vinegar or red wine itself, something with some color to it that contrasts what your countertops are, and you can actually stain the countertops if that is allowed to sit on there and soak down into the stone. You choose your granite specifically for your home. The length of the granite and the width of the granite is going to determine in large measure where your seams are located. It's very important that you get with your fabricator to make sure that you understand where the seams are going to be located, how they will be done, and the reasoning behind where the seams are going to be located. It's not good to wait for the fabricator to get there and then find out where the seams are going to be and cause you to be upset. Many times we don't have choices unless we have a lot of granite to draw from, and we can cut into several slabs and use what we need to reduce the seams. And in that, most of the time you have additional cost into that as well. If you want to reduce seams, you have to use more stone that is just simply wasted. So I hope some of these pros and cons to granite will help you make your choices in the future, and that it will not discourage you from using granite, but it will help inform you and help you when picking out your stone and choosing the perfect countertop for you.